Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with the puzzle called #Renban by FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards. Now, interestingly enough, this is a puzzle that I'm doing not simply because it's by FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards, which is always a good thing to do, but because this puzzle was published in Artisanal Sudoku Volume 109. So Artisanal Sudoku, for those of you who are not aware, is a series of puzzles published by James Sinclair. And he releases a new set every week. And there are some puzzles released for free, and there are some puzzles that are released for his paid subscribers. Now, I'll throw a link below, but I still think that this is probably the best value you can get if you want to pay for Sudoku. But the puzzles are just stunning. And he is now getting really, really good puzzles from other setters as well. Now, I have contributed to this. I did one puzzle I thought was a little bit above average for what I normally set, and in the difficulty range that he normally tries to aim for. Now, he doesn't set puzzles for beginners, but he doesn't set puzzles for experts either. So if you're sort of, I get this variant Sudoku now, and I understand how these constraints sort of work, these puzzles are kind of for you. But his guest setters tend to sort of take it a little bit further sometimes. And he does do a difficulty rating of sort of 1 to 10, where 1 is really easy. It's going to be a puzzle that experts will just plow through. And 10 would probably be a Logic Masters Germany 3. And I think this is excellent because it means that he's not aiming for the puzzles I'm doing here are going to be diabolically hard. He's aiming for, here are puzzles that just are going to be good, clean, fun solves that you can do in sort of a break. They may be slightly longer than a lunch break for some of them, but they are going to be really, really good puzzles for solvers of almost all skill levels, as long as you've understood the basics of the constraints. Maggie is my mother. It actually recommended #Renban to me. So let's have a look at this puzzle, shall we? So #Renban by FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards. So normal Sudoku, and as I said, link below to where you can get Artisanal Sudoku, and also where you can subscribe to it if you want the full set of puzzles rather than just the ones that are released for free each week. Stunning series. So normal Sudoku rules apply in every box, in every row, and not including the extra cell, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Digits in cages cannot repeat and must sum to the total given in the upper left corner of the cage, which will mean that those two digits there cannot be the same. So for example, this 14 cage could not be done by using 6, 6, and 2. Looks perfectly fine from a Sudoku perspective, and it does sum to 14, except you cannot repeat 6 in the cage. And then digits along pink Renban line form a non-repeating set of consecutive digits in an order to be determined by the solver. So basically, whatever the digits on the line are, they must be a set of consecutive digits. The order does not matter. So if I use a simple line like this one, this might be 1, 2, 3, it might be 2, 3, 4, it might be 3, 4, 5, but it couldn't be, for example, 5, 6, 8, because that is not a consecutive set of digits. But the only reason I can write them in as a triple like that is I don't know if it was 1, 2, 3, I wouldn't know which one was 2, 3. If it was 5, 6, 7, I wouldn't know which one was 5, 6, 7. Any order would be possible. Okay, I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer, because while I am not running with timers as much, people do find and I don't really care about my time. I don't feel as pressured on these. So I'm going to get a drink of water. Let's give this a shot. So any 5-cell Renban line must have a 5 on it. So I know there must be a 5 on this line. And the reason for that is if I start at 1 and go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I hit 5. If I start at 9 and go down, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, I hit 5. So there's no 5 in this 14 cage, but I don't know that that's that much. This digit here has a maximum of 5. So if this has a 9 on it, this is the 5. There's no 9 on this line. There is no 9 on this line. Because if I put a 9 on this line, this entire line becomes 98765. This digit here would have a maximum of 5 because 512 is because of the 8 cage. If this was higher than 5, these two cells would have to sum to no more than 2, and it doesn't work. So these would be 9, 8, 7, and 6. But the minimum I could make those would be 6 and 7, and those on their own would sum to 13. So there is no 9 on here. There is a 9 in one of those. Now, if I put an 8 on this line, I could... Does there have to be an 8 on this line? Is that what it's telling me? Actually, I might be able to get to this a different way. These three cells sum to 14. These three cells sum to 12. If I add those together, I get to 26. The entire box sums to 45. Because if you add the digits 1 through 9, you get to 45. 45 minus 26 is 19. So those have to sum to 19. So there must be at least... If I do 765... So if this line was 76543, so if I don't put an 8 on this line, and this is 76543, the maximum these could be is 7, 6, and 5, which is only 18. But these would need to sum to 19. So there must be an 8 on this line. There must be an 8 on the line. So, is that right? 45 minus 26 is 19. Yeah, 19. These have to sum to 19. 3 digits if I don't include an 8. The maximum would be 765, which is 18. So there must be an 8 on this line, and this line becomes 8, 7, 6, 5, and 4. And this, therefore, is 1, 2, 3, and 9. How do I make this sum to 14 with 1, 2, 3, and 9? Well, I have to use the 3 largest digits. 9, 3, and 2 is what I get, and this becomes a 1. Now, the maximum I can put into an 8 cage is a 5, so there's no 6, 7, or 8 there. These have to sum to 11. Now, they can't be 8 and 3. They could be 7, 4, or 5, 6, and 8, of course, is in one of those two. That's really cool. This line and this line are both 1, 2, 3. These lines are both 1, 2, 3. And the reason for that is I was just looking at it from here and then realized the logic was symmetrical. Hang on, the puzzle's broken. No, because these aren't 3-cell long lines, but these are. There's something weird going on in these boxes, but this has to be 1, 2, 3. And the reason for that is I need to put a 9 in this row somewhere. Now, it's either going to go on this line or on this line. If I put the 9 on this line, this becomes 9, 8, 7, and I have to put a 9, an 8, or a 7 somewhere into that cell, which means 7 plus 4 is already 11, and this isn't an 8 cage. So I can't put the 9 in here, so the 9 is in here, which means this line is 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. Down here in this line, I need to put... So I actually made a logical leap here, but I think it turns out to be correct because I haven't put 1, 2, or 3 into this. Now, if from this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 9 is over here, so it's not here. but the 4 is over here, and the 4 is in one of those 3 cells. But in this column, I've got the same piece of logic. Where do I put the 9? If I put a 9 on here, this becomes 987. This is at least a 7. 7 and 4 is 11. It doesn't work. So the 9 is down here, meaning this is 9 with 8765. There is no 1 in this, well, this is a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sextuple, so this becomes 1, 2, 3. Now, where is 4 in this column? It's not here, it's not here, it has to be up here, but I've already eliminated 4 from those two because 4 has to be here. This is an overlapping 4, and 4 comes out of those, and this is from 5, 6, 7, but these have to sum to 11. So they're now 5 and 6, because 7 and 5, if I would use a 7, 7, 5 is 12, and I've already hit the total, that would have had to have been a 0. So there's no 7 here. This is 5, 6, 5, 6 come out of those. That is 7, 8, and this is 2, 3, 9. This is stunningly clever. Right, now. And of course, hashtag. What I'm using is I'm using the hashtag symbol. Can I select all the Renban cells? I can't. But I'm using the hashtag symbol, which is this, to make it red. I'm using that symbol to find all this logic. Hashtag Renban. Right. Okay, now. I still need to put a 1 in one of these, but this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would give me a lot of freedom. If this is a 9, these would sum to 4. They could be 1, 3. This could be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so can I do the same down here, I suppose, is the question. Now, the entire box sums to 45. These sum to 29. So on this line, or those 3 cells right there, which are all on the line, sum to 29, 40, 16. So if I put a 9 on the line, 98765. If I put a 9 on the line, 98765, then the minimum would be 567, which is 18, but I'm aiming for 16. So there is no 9 on the line, and 9 is down here. I'm wondering if these are going to turn out to be 9s. But why couldn't this be 987? This would be 987. I can't put... Oh. If I put 9... So I can't put 9 on this line. I can't put 9 on this line, because if I put 9 on this... Because the math doesn't work. If I put 9 on this line, the minimum those 3 cells could be would be 5, 6, and 7, which is 18. But the maximum these lines can be is 16, because 16 plus 14 plus 15 is 45. If these were 17, which is what they'd be as if they were 5, 6, 7, is 17 plus 14 plus 15 is 46, and the box would be broken. So now, where can I put 9 in this row? I can't put it in those 3 cells. If I put it here, this becomes 987, and those 3 cells can only contain 65, which doesn't work. So 9 in this row can't go there, and it can't go there, and it's not in those 2 cells, because in this column, the 9 had to be down here, and that's the 9. Okay, can I do the same here? If I put, this can't have 9 on it, because 987, both... I'd have to put 6, 5 in all of those cells. These would have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, which doesn't work. So there's no 9 down here because the 9 is in one of these. There's no 9 on this. There's no 9 in those 2. That's the 9, and there's no 9 in those. Now, these have to sum to 4 without repeating. So they're 1, 3. So this is a 1 and a 3. So this is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because it just has to be. It has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because if this is the highest digit it can be 3, 3, 4, 5 is the highest it can be. So the question is, what's the smallest digit I can put on this? There's probably other ways of doing this, but this is what I'm finding. Now, 16. If I put a 1 on the line, then the maximum digits I could use would be 5, 4, and 3. 5, 4, and 3 is 12. It doesn't get me there. There's no 1 on the line. If I use 2 to 6, then the highest digits are 4, 5, and 6, which are only 15. That doesn't get me there. There's a 2 here. Now, if I use 3 to 7, all of a sudden I've got some options, because the highest digits I've got are 7, 6, and 5. 7, 6 is 5 is 18, and now I've got some freedom. But where is 2 in this row? 2 can't go here, and 2 can't go over here. So 2... No, wait a minute, it's simpler than that. 1 is down here. So where's 1 in this row? This is 1, 2, 3. This is just 1, 2, 3. And, right, 1 couldn't go on the line, whereas 1 in this column, this is 1, 2, 3. So now there's a 4 on here, but there's also a 4 in here. This is a 4. Using the same logic that gave me that 4, these have to sum to 5, and they're 2 and 3. This 8... Because if this is 7, 6, or 5, this 18, minimum is 4, 5, 6, which is 15. Not sure about that. Now, this is a 15. This is a 15 cage. Now, interestingly enough, okay, this is cool. A 3-cell 15 cage must either contain a low digit, a medium digit, and a high digit, or it must be all the 3 medium digits. And that's because the 2, if I try and make it up out of 2 low digits and something else, the 2 low digits being 1, 2, 3, medium digits being 4, 5, 6, and high digits being 7, 8, 9. If I try and make it up of 2 low digits, the 2 highest low digits I have are 2 and 3, and the other digit would have to be 10. Doesn't work. If I try and make it up out of 2 high digits, the 2 lowest high digits I've got are 7 and 8, and the other digit would have to be 0. It doesn't work. So I can't use 2 low digits, and I cannot use 2 high digits. If I use any 2 medium digits, the third digit is automatically forced to be medium. So because 4, 5, 6 is 15. So the minute I do that, I require all 3 medium digits, but this can't be 3 medium digits. So it can't have 2 low digits, it can't have 2 high digits, and it can't have 2 medium digits, because the minute I need it to, it has 2 medium digits, it will need a 4. So it has a low, a medium, and a high. That can't put a low in there, and I can't put a low in there because of the 1, 2, 3s looking at it. So this is a 1, 2, or a 3. So it's not a 9, and there is a 9 in this 14 cage. There is a 5 or a 6 in one of these with a 7, 8, or 9. But it can't be a 9. So it's 5, 6 with 7, 8. So these are from 5, 6, 7, 8. This is incredibly odd. Now, there is a 9 in here and 2 digits that sum to 5. But... oh, good Lord. So there's 9 with 2 digits that sum to 5. The only way to make 5 is 1, 4, or 2, 3, and I can't use 1, 4. So this is 2, 3, 9. There's no 2 or 3 in here. This is a 1. These have to sum to 14 now. Well, they're not 7, 7. So my high digit is 8. So I've got 1 and 8, which is 9, and the other digit, therefore, to get me to 15 is 6. So this is 1, 6, 8, and these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 5, 7 pair. Okay, and if I add 5, 7, and 4, I get, surprisingly enough, 16, which is 16 plus 15 plus 14 gets me to 45. That is beautiful. Not sure how to use it yet, but it's absolutely beautiful. So hang on, 9 plus what? It's the same trick. Oh, there's no 2 here because these had to sum to 4, and up here these have to sum to 5. So they're the 2 maximum digits. There's no 1 in either of those. Those are the 2, 3. This is a 2, 3 pair, so that's the 1, which means there's no 1 here. These have to sum to 4. So these were 1 and 3. That's been there for ages. I've just been distracted by the hashtag logic, which is stunning. These are 1 and 3. So this is the 2. This is 1, 2, or 3. So this is 7, 6, or 5 to make the math work. These are 1, 2, 3, and 4. If this is a 5, these would have to sum to 7. Okay, no, this could all possibly work. Maybe. There is a 1 in one of those two by Sudoku because there's no 1 here. So this is 1 and 2 digits that sum to 11. They can't be 5, 6 because that's not going to work. So I can't use 1, 5, 6. So could this even be 5? 1, 5, the other digit would have to be 6, and I can't do it. So there's no 5 here. 1, 6, the other digit would have to be 5. I can't do it. There's no 6 here. 1, 7. So if it's 1, 7, that's 8, and the other digit would have to be 4. And if it's 1, 8, that's 9, and the other digit would have to be 3. So there is a 2 in one of those, and there's no 2 here. 2 is looking up here. So there's no 1 or 2 in this 9 cage. So it can't be 1, 8, and it can't be 2, 7. So it's 3, 6, and it can't be... Oh, that was way easier. What is this 9 cage? It can't be... It needs to have a low digit in it, because if it doesn't have a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in it, the minimum is 5, 6. So it has to have a 1, 2, 3, and 5, 6 sums to 11. So the minimum, it has to have a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in it, and it can't have a 1, 2, 3. So this has a 4 in it, and then immediately the other digit in order to get 4 plus what equals 9, it's a 4, 5. That takes 4 out of this. This is 1, 3, which is 4, which means this is the 8, and I can take 8 out of all of those. The 4, 5 looks down, making that the 7 and that the 5, which takes 5 out of all of those. So the 6, 7 pair makes this the 5. 5 makes this 6 and this 5. The 8 looks across, making that the 7 and that the 8. The 5, 8 looks down, taking 5, 8 out of those, which takes 6, 7 out of those, which is good. But the 5, 8 looks across, making that the 6 and that the 8. And the hashtag is even more resolved by this 9 cage. This is so cool. The 3 looks down, taking the 3 out of those. The 2, 9 pair makes this the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is just a 6. And this is a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 7, 8, 9 triple. Do I use this 12 in a similar way? It doesn't seem quite as obvious. Again, there'll be people just going, how are you so slow at this? It's like, because I'm having fun and I'm explaining what I'm doing. 20 cage. Well, there's an 8 in one of those two by Sudoku. Oh, the 1 looks across, making that the 3 and that the 1. So there's no 3 there, and there's a 3 in one of those two. There's an 8 in one of those two. If this is an 8, no, I've got... Hang on, there's a 1 in one of these two because of the 1 looking down. So this is... Oh, this is an 8 cage. Why did I miss that this was an 8 cage? What is... I've been looking at this for ages going, this is an 18 cage, but it's an 8 cage. I mean, my eyesight's bad, but it's not that bad. That's just me being dumb. So this is a 5, this is an 8, and now these have to sum to 3, so they're 1 and 2. The 1 and 2 looks up, taking 2 out of those. That's completely on me. This is 9, this is 3, this is 2. The 2 looks across, making that 4 and that 2. Now, I'm not at all worried about not looking at this until I'd resolved the hashtag, because the hashtag logic was so cool. 1, 2, these are 3 and 4. This 3 makes this 4 and this 3. The 1 and the 2 is resolved by this 1, 2 and 1. I have no problems not looking at this at all until I'd resolved as much as I could on the hashtag. Well, as much as I found already on the hashtag, because it's so much fun. The 2 makes this 9 and this 2, and that logic was just so cool. But I should have seen that that couldn't have been an 8 a lot earlier, but I didn't, and meh. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and those need to sum to 12. Well, I can't put two 6s into a 12 cage, so there's no 6s in a 12 cage. That's the 6. This is a 4-8. This is now a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9. There's something going on there. So this 18 cage is going to have something going on. It's got to do something, and I'm not sure what. So these are 6, 7, 8, and 9. But this digit here is a minimum of 4. Because it's 4, 5, 6, or 7. So if this is a minimum of 4, this is a maximum of 14. So I can't put a 9 in it, because if I put a 9 in this, the minimum would be 9, 6, which is 15, and this would have to be no higher than 3, and it can't be 1, 2, or 3. So there's no 9 in here. This is a 6, 7, 8. This must have an 8 in it. There's a 9 here. There's an 8 in one of those two. I haven't even looked at box 5. So what? I'm having too much fun. So if this is 8, so I can eliminate this down. If this is 8, 6, that is 14, and this is a 4. And if this is 8, 7, that is 15, and this is a 3. But it can't be a 3. This is the 4. This is 8, 6. And the 8, 6 makes that a 7 and that a 6. 6 comes out of these. This actually becomes 5, 7. But if there's no 6 here, there's no 2 here. This is a 1, 3 pair. That becomes the 2, which looks up meaning that's the 3, that's the 1, that's the 2, which makes that the 6, which looks down making that the 8 and that the 6. The 1 looks down making this the 3, this the 1, which makes that the 7 and that the 5. This is fun. The 6, of course, makes this 7 and this 6. Can I leave box 5 to the end? Probably not. Otherwise, this 25 cage probably won't exist. But who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 go in. The 4 looks up making this the 8 and this the 4. So these need to sum to 16. So they're just 7 and 9, which are the two highest digits I have available because there's no 8 available, and they just happen to sum to 16. So 1, 2, 3, this is a 5. Yeah, I'm running out of stuff, aren't I? Yeah, I've kind of ran out of stuff. All I know, well, hang on, 6 goes in this row, but I've got 2 6s looking at it. So I am starting to have to put stuff into box 5. A better Sudoku person than me could probably avoid it, but I'm not gonna. Oh, the 9 looks up, making that the 7 and that the 9. And I've done most of the central stack except for box 5. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 8, 8, 8. That right there is a 6. So I can't put another 6 in the column. These are 1 and 8. These, however, are known. Oh, so I know what that it's giving me that digit, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 4, and 5. Well, 4, 5 is 9, add 3 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 25 minus 18, that is a 7, which means there's no 7 there and there's no 7 there. But it tells me what this pair is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, and 9. Okay. Oh, these cages. It's been there forever. That's a 3. That's a 2. I got distracted by the hashtag and completely forgot the killer cages. These are 5, so this is the 3. Also, I couldn't repeat the 1. This is the 3, so this is the 1. And now the 1 makes that the 8 and that the 1. The 8 looks across making that the 4 and that the 8. That makes that the 9, and I take 9 out of those because this was an 8 or a 9, which looks back making this the 5 and takes 5 out of those. The 5 looks back making that the 4 and that the 5. Possibly I could have done a lot more work if I'd remembered the cages existed. Oh well, this is a 3. I'm having fun. 4 makes this 5 and this 4. If you're having fun solving Sudoku, you're not doing it wrong. 2 makes this 9, which makes this 2. 9 jumps across making this 7 and making this 9. The 7 looks back making this 8 and making this 7. And that is the correct solution. 25 minutes, 17 seconds. It is possible if I'd used the cages better, this would have been a more approachable Sudoku, but I was really enjoying exploring the hashtag Renban, hence the name of the puzzle. That was absolutely stunning. I'm going to thank all three of FullDeck, Missing a Few Cards, and James Sinclair. FullDeck and Missing a Few Cards for setting this amazing puzzle, and James Sinclair for actually giving me permission to do it, because this was released in a publication where his puzzles are basically he controls the puzzles that are published in Artisanal Sudoku, and there's an arrangement between the people who submit puzzles to us, Artisanal Sudoku and James, and that's perfectly reasonable. This was great fun. I love the artisanal puzzles so much. Like, if you haven't checked them out, please go and check them out and have a look at the puzzles that are made available for free, and then look into paying for the extras. It is so worth it. But as for like getting three puzzles a day, three puzzles a week that are just absolutely worth it, just do it. Just go there. Like, it is probably better quality creation than the stuff you get here. Just go and get it. Like, and the puzzles I bring here are curated by testers and everything. We are in a golden age of Sudoku right now, because there's a lot of people who are not just making good puzzles, but curating good puzzles. They're not just sitting there and churning out a puzzle a day to make sure it's all good. They are going out of their way to making sure the puzzles are curated in a good way. And that is better than people who are just blatting puzzles out at speed. There's some really good stuff happening. Thank you everyone for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I've got something a bit... you'll see what's happening tomorrow. Thanks everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.